And we are live. We did
Good.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Happy long weekend for me and Americans. I don't know what the
Ours was last
holiday is.
Memorial Day.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
What was your last holiday?
Victoria Day?
Okay. I don't
Couldn't
know.
tell you.
Whatever.
It happens
Yeah.
every year. No fucking idea. Every year.
Yeah. No, I just know that I get Monday off, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
And that's what I log into my memory.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to our boy John who went to that Sega thing. He
Oh yeah. So no John again this week because he's still doing his work, but he just finished up in New York.
yeah, he finished up in New York. I haven't had time to catch the stream, but it sounds like he either tied or lost or something, because he got like the exact same time. I saw a screenshot in a thing as another dude, and they gave that dude the prize, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
gonna have
John
to find
tweet
out.
something like next time.
Yeah,
Was it like Hip Hop Gamer? I don't know who it was, but
yeah,
I think that might be.
yeah. I have no idea either, but
And then it was like 37% versus 37%, but Hip Hop Gamer or whoever we're
yeah,
misremembering had like an asterisk next to his, and it didn't explain what the asterisk was. But I'm assuming there was some fine print that said winner beside asterisks. I don't know.
yeah, must be. But
I'm sure someone in our chat probably has an idea. But
yeah, good for him. I'm glad that he actually was able to make it work to go to that thing, because I know last week behind the scenes he was bummed because he didn't think he would be able to make it since
2 weeks ago, because he wasn't on the show
two
last
weeks.
week.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
you're right.
Yeah, I
weeks
remember
ago.
him trying to get to it.
He was bummed because it was at the exact same time as like his other panel or something. So I'm glad they were able to work it out, because that's kind of a once in a lifetime event thing. So
Yeah, I
that
still don't really even know what it was. It was something to do with like the collection coming out, right?
I think it's to do with their version of like the NES remix or thing, the like mini Genesis or something that they're doing with a bunch of
Oh,
like
do you mean the
classics on it.
classic?
The classic. I think it's something to do with that.
Is there a Sega Genesis Classic, or is it just one of those like weird ones?
Well, remember you reported where we reported on one a few weeks back, and then John was like, "Yeah, they put those out all the time." This one seems like an officially sanctioned one.
A more legit one? Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's what it was to like promote, and they probably just played that for the different challenges, which makes sense.
Right. I didn't just from his like pictures, I didn't recognize anyone except Xavier Woods was there.
Okay, yeah, I didn't actually
Um,
see a lot of the pictures. I'm
I'm
wondering
just
who else
going
was
off of
there.
John's Twitter account, so I
Yeah,
haven't
fair
watched the
enough.
stream yet either. I'm looking forward to talking to him about it when he gets back,
Totally,
just to ask like what was there.
totally. But
And now he's like, is he back at MomoCon now?
yeah, MomoCon is this weekend, so I guess
Wait, what did he skip out on?
he skipped out on their like meet and greet, people come up and ask questions panel, which seems like the one that he could skip
So,
out on.
so more MomoCon stuff. He came to some MomoCon, missed like the middle of it, and now he's back at MomoCon. Is that what
No,
happened?
he went to Atlanta, Georgia, or whatever, to do recording, then left before MomoCon even started to do this thing. MomoCon started while he's doing it, then he came back to finish it off.
Oh, okay. All right. So he just missed the beginning of MomoCon.
Yeah, and like their first like panel that is, I mean, if people have questions for him, they can tweet him. He's not inaccessible. You could write
Sure.
into
Yeah.
topdownperspective at
Well,
gmail.com if you
well,
have a burning question.
there's also that. I'm assuming he was under some like obligation that he was able to get out of, but we'll find this all out
Yeah, sure.
next week. Next week. Yeah, I know he's back next week.
I'm sure they would understand that a once a lifetime event maybe trumps the thing that you do all the time. It's fine. I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's why John's not here.
Yeah,
But we're here
we
to
are.
entertain you, to
True.
hold you over until John's back next week.
Well, yeah. We'll try.
Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. May 25th, top down perspective. Paul's here. Sean's here.
May the 25th be with you.
Yeah, just keep it going. What have you been playing?
It goes without saying that I've been picking at God of War.
Yeah, so I finished up God of War. I just kind of want to say I'm done God of War.
Yeah, okay. I'm not. I'm close. I'm very, very close.
Dude, well, you got to finish that soon.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on for Sunday. Is that
Sunday.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if anyone has also finished God of War, and wants to listen to a spoiler cast, actually, we're probably not even doing it live. I'm assuming, right?
I
We
would
should,
prefer not to.
yeah. So, but just keep, heads up for next week. A spoiler cast will be going up on the RSS feed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Maybe don't
so
download it and listen to it accidentally if you plan to play God of War first.
right.
Maybe.
Yeah. But we'll be doing that. Should be coming out similar to when this one, the audio version, comes out.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to doing that. I've been listening to other spoiler casts, reminding myself what's going on.
Okay, cool. I haven't actually heard many other people's opinions on that game, besides like what you and I have talked about off air.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm actually super excited to kind of catch up and just see what the general consensus. Like, I know everybody likes it, but I don't know any specifics about why. So
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely had like a couple spoiler casts on my phone for like a few weeks, just being like, well, I'm not going to delete this because I'm going to listen to it, but I can't listen to it yet, so it's just going to sit here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know Giant Bomb specifically has a spoiler cast that I haven't downloaded because I don't want it to accidentally play while I'm like doing something and I can't turn it off right away.
Right. Yeah. So there was I listened to that one, and then I listened to Waypoints.
Okay.
Spoiler cast as well.
Sure. It's a big game. It doesn't surprise me that a bunch of people just want to talk like super in depth about it.
I mean, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know it's big if we're doing it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna start with the new hotness in the indie roguelike titles of Wizard of Legend. This came out. This is a top-down brawler sort of game where you play a wizard that is using different spells to basically go through a dungeon and beat a bunch of other wizards in this like grand trial to become a like super wizard or like just
a wizard of legend, maybe
a wizard of legend. Sure, yeah.
Yep.
Its whole thing is that every attack you do is a spell. So you have a kind of melee attack, which is like just this basic like you throwing like wind punches essentially as like a melee, and then
that's not melee. That's another spell.
Yeah, but it's like close up. Like it's not ranged.
I'm just saying, like in the real world,
right?
That's a spell.
No, that's the thing.
I can't just do that.
Yeah, that's the thing is that none of these are like you have a sword. These are all like you're manipulating magic somehow. So, But that's like your melee attack, or what would be a melee attack, or the equivalent of swinging a sword or something, because it's up close and personal. And
so what you're saying is like when these wizards are asleep, in their sleep, they could just accidentally shoot a wind blast because it's not magic. It's just like a reflex.
Oh, they could do much worse things, because your ranged thing that you start off with is like a flurry of fireballs. So that would be a much worse thing to just accidentally do. And then you have like a special move or whatever. I can't remember what they call it in the game, but it's like it's a move that you can do all the times, but it gets powered up when you do big combos. So it becomes like a better version of that.
It's like a Kamehameha.
Yeah, kind of. I'm
going to be honest with you. Dragon Ball Z is basically a bunch of wizards.
Like, that's not the worst way to think about it. So, for example, the first one you start with, I believe, is just like a big fireball. But if you have your like charge meter, supercharge meter, or whatever, all the way full, that like time slows down to like make it feel like it's a bigger thing, and then like 3 huge fireballs just come out instead of 1, and it just has that like, oh yeah, that felt real fucking cool. That was awesome. So
this is all like pixelated graphics, right?
It's all pixelated graphics, yeah.
Okay.
It's very fast moving. It is an top-down, like third-person brawler sort of thing. So you are going through dungeons, looking for money to upgrade either your items, like in Binding of Isaac or Rogue Legacy or any of that sort of stuff. Like that would give you an edge, like passive abilities. And also you can switch out to different spells and loadouts by buying cards that give you that. Basically, you could think of them as like spell scrolls to like change what spells you're using. So like for a while I was using an electricity thing instead of fireballs, and it just didn't feel as good, so I switched back to my default. And there's unlocks, so every time you play you get crystals that you can spend at the like hub world to unlock certain things forever, and then you can start a run with them and change your loadout whenever you want to kind of freshen it up and see what you like. It's all very, very cool. The biggest problem I have with this game right now is that it's going in the way of roguelites go these days, where they don't have like a hook to them. They don't have the carrot on the stick. Like, this is a problem we were talking about with Swords of Ditto, where the way they did it, it kind of felt like there was no progression. Here there is a progression, but every run feels samey, and that's kind of boring too in a different way, because when you have stuff that can augment your run, what you are hoping for is that they're going to go for the Binding of Isaac style, where they are building up on each other, and now you have like weird flame fists that also like freeze enemies and can electrocute everything in the area. Like, you want to feel like you're accumulating all this power, but you never do. It's at the end of the day, you always have like a melee attack, a range attack, and a super attack. They don't kind of like work with each other.
What's transferring over between runs?
So like you get crystals or whatever to buy different loadouts, essentially, that you can start the run with.
Okay, so you could start like a new run with just stronger attacks, though, or better attacks.
Yeah, like there's a progression that way, but there's no synergies with the stuff, so it kind of feels like, in some ways, pointless, I guess. Like, basically, I watched another video of a guy speedrunning it, and it seems like there will be a point where when everything's unlocked, you will always just want to use this because it's the most powerful loadout, and that's a bummer.
Okay. Sure.
So that deflated me a little bit when I was just like, oh, why would I ever use anything else when that guy's using these weird like black hole magic void dark things that are way better than anything else I've seen. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why I would ever not have that as my loadout if I want to play the game properly.
Sure.
So that's a bummer. That's the biggest problem I have with it right now, but I do feel like I'm getting better at it as I keep playing it, which is something that like I never really felt with stuff like Rogue Legacy. I always felt like I could like power through it, and I would have certain characters with certain abilities that made it easier or harder depending on what that was. But this is one of the games where I feel like, kind of like Gungeon, where you just feel like you're getting better as a player, because it doesn't feel like I'm getting RNG on my side to like steamroll a run. It feels like I'm learning how to play the game, which is super fun to a point. So I'm having fun right now, but I could definitely see where that's going to drop off. I can feel it coming. So I think it's like $20. I'm playing it on the Switch right now. It plays completely fine. It's also out on PC and PlayStation 4 and Xbox, I think. I think it's out on everything. And it is a full, like, just straight-up release, no early access or any of that sort of thing, so people can check that out if they want. It's called Wizards of Legend. Or Wizard of Legend. Sticking on the Nintendo Switch train, the new Bloodstained Kickstarter goal of the 8-bit throwback to Castlevania-style games called Bloodstained Curse of the Moon came out. And I
completely forgot about this, but I'm very interested in this one. One, it's $10, which is nice.
It's $10. Mm-hmm.
And two, I don't know if I'm super interested in Bloodstained proper, so I'm hoping this might be like a nice, like almost like a demo.
Okay, it's not. So Bloodstained proper would be more like Symphony of the Night, which is what the Metroidvania part, or the Castlevania part of Metroidvania comes from, right? Where it's more RPG-ish.
So maybe if I don't like this, I'll like Bloodstained.
Probably, because I love this. This is Castlevania 3 done in a modern age. This is like the old school type games I grew up with old shitty sensibilities of certain things, where there's an enemy placement here solely to hit you so that when you take damage, you fall back into a pit that kills you instantly. That type of NES bullshit that I grew up with, it's all here, and I fucking love it. It's so good.
I hate that, because I played a bunch of, what was it, 2 or Belmont's Revenge or something on the Game Boy?
Okay, yeah, the Game Boy Castlevania games are real bad in general, but yes.
That's like the one I've played from this, so maybe I should... I'm of two minds. One is like, maybe I should give this another try.
Sure.
Or maybe I just hate these.
Okay, so the thing is if you hate them, this is one of those, and you will hate it. But if the
Okay.
reason why you hate those is because they're old, just like archaic ways of handling controls and like movement and stuff, this fixes that because it's a new product. So like,
Sure.
it's those old sensibilities which can be really frustrating, but without the annoying limitations of so many things can be on the screen, meaning your walk animation is slow or something. Like you feel you can walk normal, you feel fast, you have different characters you can switch between to do certain things to get through the level either easier, faster, or just like in a different way so that there's some replayability factor. It's it's the modern version of what those games were in this day and age, and
Right.
I know that I like this already way more than I'm probably gonna like the normal Bloodstained, because I don't generally like the Symphony of the Night style as much.
Weird, but you're a big Metroid fan.
I am, yeah.
Okay. Those are pretty similar, are they not?
Yeah, a little bit, but I guess my problem
You
is
just
that
prefer lasers and like weird caves as opposed to like haunted mansions and swords.
no, it's when they became the Metroidvania style that they never made the old Scott style game again. It just all went to that. Like all of the
Okay.
DS Castlevania games were in that style, and like everything up until I can't remember what that really bad one people say is, that like Mirrors of Fate or something.
I don't know. I have
Okay.
no idea.
It's like Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 Mirror of Fate or something. It's like a throwback that
Oh.
everybody said was bad, so I didn't want to try it because I would have been disappointed, I think.
Okay, if you now that you said the Lord of the Shadow one, you're talking like on the 3DS.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay, I know like nothing about that, but I do know it
Right.
exists.
I
Okay.
hear abysmal things about
That's an
it.
old school Castlevania game. It's not a Symphony of the Night game.
I think so, from what I'm led to believe.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the last like actual game in this style that I really liked was called Odalis: The Dark Call. It was an indie release a couple years ago. So this is just kind of like an official one of those because it's made by
Is it Ikaruga?
no,
What's his name? The dude with the hat and the whip.
yeah, that dude.
The Castlevania guy. I forgot his name.
Yeah. Igarashi?
Igarashi. Okay, I was
Yeah.
close. Did they make a Lords of Shadow 2?
Like proper? Yeah, they did. They totally did.
All right.
That I remember I was so mad because I heard somebody talking about that game and it spoiled the end of Lords of Shadow 1 that I was playing through at that point, so I stopped playing the game,
Oh, okay.
which is a bummer, so I'm not going to even bother saying it here.
Right.
Anyways, for $10, this is about a 2 to 3 hour thing, the first playthrough, and then there are other playthroughs you can do of the same game but doing different things, so it's kind of like a cheap way to do some replayability, but it works. There's like a new
What are
mode.
what are the different things?
So when you start the game, you start off with one character, the main character, and then through every level you beat a boss at the end of the level, and then after that boss is a new person you can rescue or like hook up with to join your group, and then you can like push the L and R button to switch between them at will as you're playing. So one of the playthroughs is you go through without picking any of those people up, so it's kind of like making the game harder.
So it's harder?
Yeah, and you don't have like the ability to do different things. Like the first girl you get, Miriam, has a long whip, a bigger jump, and can slide into like tight spaces to get through some like secret areas. So
That
like
sounds way better. Why would you not use her?
because you've already played the game once and now you're trying to get the other ending, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So it's just different like outcomes at the end of the game and to challenge yourself and all that sort of thing. So right now I'm doing my second playthrough. I did my first playthrough actually last night on stream because I was like, I want to take a look at this. I didn't realize it was going to be that short, so I played through it in about 2 hours and unlocked Nightmare Mode, which is kind of like Chapter 2, maybe. It's like the same game, but different. It's hard to talk about without saying what happens at the end, which I won't do.
The mansion flips upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, it's real cool. I love it a lot, and
Did you get this as a Kickstarter? Are you a Kickstarter backer for
no, I
Bloodstained?
bought it.
Okay.
Yeah. At $10, I highly recommend it. I know for a
Yeah,
fact it's
I'm
going to be in
still
my
kind
Game of
of.
Year list.
I still might pick it up.
Yeah, it's hard to say if you don't like those old style games or don't have any nostalgia for them how you'd feel about this. Because it does
Right.
do some bullshit stuff that even I got mad at, where I was just like, oh, that's just fucking bad. It does some of that.
Can you say what it was, or is it spoilery?
I mean, okay, whatever. Every boss has like a fuck you moment where it's just like, oh, you won, but they're gonna just like do a thing to try to kill you as they're dying.
Oh, weird. That would be super annoying.
It's kind of funny, but like not, you know? It's one of
Right.
those.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so again, that is Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, $10 on, I think, everything. I'm pretty sure it's just on everything.
Yeah, I think it's on everything. Right.
The big one, though, this week is State of Decay 2. I've been playing State of Decay 2.
I put a couple hours into this.
Okay, I'm playing it on PC. What are you playing it on?
Xbox. I have the Game Pass, so
Me too. Yeah.
it's
I forgot to
Do you know if
cancel
we
it.
can play with each other?
I don't actually. I'm sure
I'm gonna
we
look-
can.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Wait, you played Sea of Thieves with me, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that was just a Sea of Thieves thing or.
I don't think so. Because to play these games, I have to go through the Microsoft stuff. Like I get Xbox achievements and all that stuff when I play. I'm sure we can. We should try it. We should definitely try it.
But I'm assuming you're a lot further than I am, though.
Probably not. I've been kind of just screwing around a little bit. So, State of Decay is the follow-up, or State of Decay 2 is the follow-up from, I think, the, 2015? I can't remember when State of Decay 1 came out, but it's basically kind of like a survival sim mixed in with, a Dead Rising zombie apocalyptic world, where you play a group of survivors, and in an open world in an area with a bunch of zombies, and you're supposed to go out and kind of scrounge for supplies to keep everybody happy and alive and all that stuff. So it kind of mixes some sim stuff with some Dead Rising stuff and just some general open world bullshit as well. This is the new version of that, and the reason why I like this game and State of Decay 1 is because I really, really like the conceit of these characters get tired and they have different strengths and weaknesses, so you switch between all the characters that are hanging out basically in your little camp or whatever. So, for example, in mine, I should have chosen a different group, but I chose the default couple that it kind of starts you off with when you go to the character select or the couple select or whatever of a brother and sister duo, because they're kind of the ones with the highest fighting rating. So what I've been doing is I've been using the sister because the brother got bit and has the blood plague right now and is in the infirmary basically trying not to die. She's been going out with another person who's good at scavenging, and while they're scavenging, I'm using her to beat the shit out of the zombies and to keep them off of the other one while they're doing their thing, and vice versa. Just it's just one of those things where you take different people out and kind of play to their strengths and weaknesses, and remembering that the different characters get tired, they get fatigued, you have to take them back and let them sleep, so you can't just always be going with the same character. You can't overpower one of them, you just kind of have to go between them, or just wait around, I guess, if you were so inclined. But
Right.
yeah, I really like that style. I really like the Sims thing on top of the zombie apocalypse. I think the biggest thing I like, though, is that the zombies aren't spawned when a thing happens. It's not just infinite zombies, and that's super refreshing for zombie type games where an area will have a certain amount of zombies, and a certain amount of zombies will always just stumble around the world. But you could clear an area and make it safe for a while,
Right,
and not have to
right,
worry
yeah.
about it.
You
There's
can
no
see that on the map as well.
Yeah.
The cleared areas.
there's no random Deus Ex Machina zombie that comes in and summons the horde, and now you're fighting 1,000 because video games.
Well, they do have this. They have screamers.
They have screamers that summon ones in the area. They don't spawn new ones.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's the big difference. Like, technically, they're always going to spawn some outside of the map and then they just stumble around randomly, but they don't spawn, like, mobs of them to just, like, video game it up. And I really like that aspect as well.
Sure.
Of it. But,
which pairing did you pick as your...
the brother and sister.
Okay, like, I picked the like the couple that found themselves after the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so you have the girl that's good at harvesting or whatever, right? At what's it called?
I have absolutely no idea because I never switched characters.
Oh, okay.
I've just been playing as the dude.
Okay, so you haven't gone to the point where the dude is useless because he's exhausted and will die if you take him out?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think he's about halfway down at the moment. Actually,
yeah,
that's not true because I played about an hour or two with my community with my friend joining me, and then I went and joined his community. So I think my guy is actually about ready to like pass out.
So you don't get any of the benefit except for like items you can scavenge with your friend.
Items. I also get influence points.
You get influence points, yeah.
Yeah, which those seem pretty useful.
Yeah,
so.
They're okay. Yeah, they're what you use to expand your safe zone or whatever. So
yeah, and like purchase outposts and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, I think your character is good at like planting stuff and like harvesting food. The girl, and I can't remember what his thing was. He was probably a fighter or something, I would assume, because
maybe I can't remember. I know I have I think fighting is at max.
Yeah,
and so is probably. Like wits, I think.
Okay, sure.
And I think I made him specialize in fighting.
Yeah.
So he could do like a slam or something or get more health. I can't remember what I did.
And probably like more stamina or something, I would assume. Doesn't like get tired using weapons as quickly, I would assume.
No, I think that's cardio.
That makes sense.
I don't think I'm max on cardio.
That makes sense. Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know if this game is totally my game.
Sure.
And I'm getting similar vibes to Sea of Thieves in the sense that it's like, you know, there's not really a story. There's no like real kind of like end goal that you're going towards. It's just kind of like do a random mission after random mission.
I mean, it's a survival game first and foremost.
Yeah, it's yeah. Unlike Sea of Thieves, there's definitely way more structure to this one. But
sure, there's things to do. Yeah,
there's things to do. Well, I mean, Sea of Thieves had things to do. It just had like 3 things to do, and then you just rinse and repeat those 3 things. Sure. This one obviously has more of those, but they're all just still kind of like, why don't you go to this house to try and find food?
Right.
Why don't you go to this house to try and find meds? And every now and then, so there'll be some humans there or something like that. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it, but I just don't really think it's like my total cup of tea.
Yeah.
Just because I kind of want like, story's not the right word, but I just kind of want like more of like a set goal as opposed to just like a sandbox, this is basically just kind of like a sandbox.
Well, I mean, this is The Sims. Like, it just straight up is, because it's like you're dealing with what everybody's going through and their health and stuff. You're gonna run out of certain things, and then you'll have to send people out and play them to get certain things. Like, oh no, we're almost out of medication. You should go search for more meds. Like, it's just about keeping people alive. That's what this game is, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, then you probably won't like this game. Like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just can't see myself putting like a ton of hours into it.
This is
which is why I was playing co-op with a buddy. I'm saying we should definitely try. Based on what I'm looking at, I think we can if you have Windows 10. I don't know. Their FAQ on their site's not super helpful. But the idea of just playing this like by myself just kind of seems like totally not my thing.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm glad I got it for, quote unquote free.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much time I'll put into it.
It is. I'm getting confirmation there is crossplay as well.
Cool.
So
yeah, we should definitely do some of that.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like I should join your group because, like I said, I don't really care about my community all that much.
No, either way.
I think the best thing about this game is when you're in a car, you can hold down the X button to open your door and leave it open. So if you're driving alongside and there's a zombie, you can just whack them with an open car door.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
You could do that on the first one too, actually. It's
okay.
Great.
I never played the first one. I know nothing about the first one.
Fair enough. It's very much like the first one.
Is super buggy, and 99% of the time the car doors didn't work for me.
Again,
but they worked for my co-op
the first
partner.
one. Yeah. It's very much made by the same people for sure.
Yeah. In fact, this game is so kind of janky. So you have a radio, and the radio, you can use the radio to, like, if you're in trouble, send out like a flare and have random people join you, which sounds awesome. Although I haven't gotten it to work, despite being like, "Come join me, random people."
I don't think a lot of people are playing this game, to be honest.
I don't know if I believe that, because like it's on the Game Pass.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people blew their free Game Pass and don't want to buy it.
Like they just did the trial
for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. What else? Also on the radio, you can be like, "Hey, I am looking for this specific resource. Does anyone have any leads?" Which is super helpful. And then at the bottom, there's straight up and it's even called "I'm Stuck." That if your character is somehow just stuck in the environment, it'll like rewind time a few seconds and just get you out of that.
Yeah, that's
which
a very
I kind
MMO
of love
thing.
How much they're just kind of like wearing this on their sleeve. Like, hey, we know and we get it, and this will fix that.
It's a very MMO thing to add for sure. Instead of just fixing the problem, adding like a band-aid. I love it. It's so good.
That's exactly kind of what it is.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I really like it a lot.
Okay.
That being said, I think this is a sale game. If you don't know what you're getting into with State of Decay because you didn't play the first one, and you want to try it out, first and foremost, just use your free Game Pass thing. It's perfect for that. If you don't have that, pay the $10 or $12 or $15 or whatever it is to try it out.
Get it for a month?
Yeah, get it for a month, try it out. And if you're not going to do any of that, pick it up on like sale one day for like $20 or something. I don't think
it's like a long time. Like there's not many games I play for longer than a month.
I totally agree. I'm just saying this is not like a $50+ game to me.
Sure.
And I love these types of games, so yeah, just know what you're getting.
I definitely think like if you have a group of friends, it's a good time.
For a month. A group of friends won't play this more than a month, I don't think.
But I'm just saying, like, if you have a crew, that's even more incentive to definitely give it a shot.
Totly.
Like I said, personally, I don't know if I'm going to play this game solo, but in co-op, it's a lot more fun for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can go up to 4 players, which is super nice.
Yep. And yeah, again, that is State of Decay 2.
Yeah, it's weird because you kept mentioning like the Sims reference, which is making me think. Because like Animal Crossing is like one branch even further removed from like the Sims, and it's like Animal Crossing doesn't have any like end goal progression yet. I love that, so why is this not okay? And I don't know, man. I gotta look into myself. And
is it because you're dealing with? I think it might just be you're dealing with survival. You're not like getting luxury stuff. You're not like progressing your house or something, or like feeling like you're getting a thing.
Well, in State of Decay 2, you can literally progress your base.
Yeah, it's not the same though, because
maybe it's because State of Decay 2 doesn't have gyroids.
That's probably it.
It doesn't have any like.
Yeah.
If there was just more weird creatures that kind of looked like fire hydrants and wobbled around, that might be it.
That might be pretty dope, to be honest. It might be.
Well, then I have a game for you, and it's called Animal Crossing, and there's like 100 of these fuckers.
Yo, get me that shit on my Switch. I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, what else have you been playing?
All right, we just talked about most of it. I wanted to touch briefly on Battle Chasers.
Yeah. Okay.
That game is fucking $25 at Walmart and Amazon right now.
Half price.
Man, when I saw that sale yesterday, I was just like, this fucking game. And the thing is, it's not even the game's fault. Like,
no, totally.
I can't let these feelings affect how I'm enjoying the game or not enjoying the game.
You shouldn't.
But it's like one app. This has been a perfect storm of the worst like pricing issues I've ever had on a video game, and they're all with this one.
It's so good. Oh
And,
man.
and 6 months ago, I could have bought this for $13 on my Xbox, and it would have run better. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh
I don't have much more to say about Battle Chasers. I'm still playing it. Still fun.
yeah.
It's way grindier than I would like an RPG to be. So that's kind of a bummer.
Okay. I was wondering, like, I have heard that there's a point you hit where it does get into that. I was wondering where that is. How far in are
Oh no,
you?
I feel like just kind of anytime I get to a new area, just all the new enemies are just kicking my ass, and
Oh
leveling
no.
up is just kind of hard. You do not get a ton of experience. And the
Hmm.
big thing, however, which I kind of expect from more modern games, it might be also because I just finished up God of War, is
Yeah.
there's just like no side quests in this, and I would expect there to
Oh,
be. Uh, I kind of just assume there to be tons of side quests in games like this that will help you kind of over level your way through the like main storylines.
yeah.
Which, because I know like God of War definitely had that, Assassin's Creed Origins definitely had that. So I'm coming off games where there's tons of side content that is like making my main character super powerful. So when I do a main quest, it's just like easy almost. And this
Sure.
is not the case. The only like side stuff are these like monster hunts, which are just really hard side quests that are usually a higher level than I am. And if they're not, there's only one of them. Uh, so that's just kind of a bummer. So yeah, it kind of just results in you have to grind a whole bunch. But you can still come across a monster that'll just randomly do like 900 damage in one hit, and that sucks. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know,
Well,
man.
if you were to give it a number between 1 and 10, what would you say it's at right now for you?
6,
Okay. Better than average.
6, yeah.
Cool.
Like I'm still enjoying my time. Like my main issue was like, apart from the just like poor performance on the Switch, and this is by the way, I'm only playing handheld mode, so it might run way better docked, which I
Probably
would
not.
assume it is, but I'm playing in handheld mode.
Uh-huh.
Apart from the performance issues, it's just like a bit grindier than I would like,
Okay.
and I wish there was more side quest stuff. Also just from like a lore standpoint, because all the lore in this game are like little notes that you find around, the equivalent of audio logs without the audio.
Sure.
Which, I mean, that's fine. I don't like ingesting my lore that way.
Okay.
And again, if you reference it to like God of War, they basically have audio logs, but they're all like contextual, and they show up when you're doing like the most boring parts of that game.
Right.
So those are implemented really nicely. These ones I have to like sit there and read about something. I don't know. I'm not into it as much.
So dubs, not subs, is what you're getting at.
I guess technically in this case I'm dubs, not subs.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
yeah. And then I've been playing something else that I can't talk about, but I'll talk about it next week.
But oh man, you guys, it sounds so good.
Yeah. Playing a fun game right now, and
Yeah.
I'll talk about it on the show next week. I'm writing a review.
Cool.
That'll do it for what I've been playing. Let's go on to some news.
Yeah.
This came in real hot today. Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Okay.
I guess it was supposed to come out in the second half of 2018. I must have missed that. But regardless, the news is that it's delayed to 2019.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Which I'm fine with. Again,
Sure.
I was kind of surprised they're doing another one of these. I like The Wolf Among Us. I am happy to wait for a really good season 2, because I enjoyed the first season, and I got tired of
Sure.
the Telltale formula a bit, especially when they were just doing Walking Dead after Walking Dead after Walking Dead.
Sure.
This
yeah.
kind of feels like the gem they had, and that revisiting it, I'm looking forward to that. So take your time, make it good.
This is just reminding me I still need to finish Fables. I started reading it a long time ago.
Oh, the comic itself,
comic,
not Wolf
yeah.
Among Us. Did you play Wolf Among Us?
Yeah. It was good.
Oh, yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
one for sure. I only read a little bit of Fables, but I've definitely heard it's good.
Yeah.
We talked a few weeks ago about the Steam Link app
Yeah.
that is coming out to phones. It's already out on Android, I believe. And it was supposed to be coming out on iOS like any day in the past, sometime this week.
Okay.
But excuse me, Apple rejected it.
Oh, okay. Does it say in this blurb why?
So Steam put out a little thing about kind of what's going on. I'll just read through it. Let's see. On Monday, May 7th, Apple approved the Steam Link app for release. On Wednesday, May 9th, Valve released news of the app. The following morning, Apple revoked its approval, citing business conflicts with app guidelines that had allegedly not been realized by the original review team. Valve appealed, explaining the Steam Link app simply functions as a LAN-based remote desktop, similar to numerous remote desktop applications already available on the App Store.
Yeah.
Which is true. I have like TeamViewer on my phone.
Sure.
Ultimately, that appeal was denied, leaving the Steam Link app for iOS blocked from release. The team here spent many hours on this project and the approval process, so we're clearly disappointed, but we hope Apple will reconsider in the future.
Cynical part of me says Apple wants to keep the money in their ecosystem for games. They don't want people to go to Steam and get this as a way to not give them money for games.
For their games, because they know all these phone games are up on Steam nowadays anyway.
Kind of, yeah. There's a lot of phone games on Steam.
To be fair, who's gonna sit there and be like, man, I could play, I don't know, Crossy Road, or I could play like the port of it that they put on Steam and then stream it to my phone and get all that sweet lag.
I mean, if Steam regularly has sales where that thing is like 10% of its original price on the App Store, I would definitely rather pay less. But yeah, I wouldn't be using my phone to play games at home anyway. So if this is
the thing is like it's barely a competition because like it's gonna play better on your phone if it's a phone app than you streaming it.
I mean, you can theoretically play it for sure.
Like, so I don't know if I fully agree with that reason. The funny response I was seeing from some people is, so we had all that visual novel, like the sexy visual novel stuff going on, and a bunch of those people or people who were reporting on it were like, "Oh, Valve, I see you're getting a little upset that someone's denying you access to put your thing up when they already said you could at one point. Weird." So that was pretty funny.
Do you think Apple is maybe looking... Do you think those have anything to do with each other at all? Where Steam's like, we need to take stuff that like looks bad to business deals off our thing. Maybe Apple's like, we don't want Honey Pop on our iOS device. Are you kidding? That seems weirdly like specific.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
I doubt it because again, the Steam Link app it's literally just a like desktop mirroring thing. So you could use it for like not games.
But I mean, Apple definitely doesn't agree. They have a problem with it somehow, and I'd like to know why.
I would be more inclined than maybe just Apple doesn't just like, they just don't like Valve, and they're just like, nah, we're good. You know, similar to how sometimes Netflix doesn't show up on like an Amazon streaming stick or whatever sometimes, or whatever it is.
Nintendo and Amazon have a tumultuous relationship as well. Yeah, I guess.
I have no idea, but I would probably put my bets in that direction more than like
just weird
sexy visual novels.
Fucking weird.
I don't know. It is weird. Again though, as we were talking about, I still don't see the use case for this, but anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about Game Pass. They're putting up some new games. If you do have Game Pass on the Xbox for June, the list of games that are new. Why isn't there just a list of new games? Why is it giving me the entire list? MotoGP 17, Next Up Hero, that Disneyland Parks game.
Oh, what? Okay.
Which I'm kind of just curious. I think that's just a bunch of bad mini games involving like the rides from Disneyland.
Yeah.
But I might just play that for like kicks. Wasteland 2, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, and
the Technomancer.
Okay. Again, I'm looking at the image because I cannot find.
Yeah, so I have them here. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, thumbs up. That's a great ad. Next Up Hero, I've had multiple emails to look at that, and I haven't.
Where are you seeing the full list?
The full list is...
Did you click another link in that article?
I clicked on like I'm at the article on the Major Nelson thing, and then I sorted by date added, and then just went to the
Okay.
bottom where it says
Okay.
new. Um,
We're gonna tell us all about Next Up Hero.
yeah, no, I haven't looked at that one yet, but that's been on my list. The Technomancer is kind of garbage, but like for free, technically, if you already have this, you could play it. That's a thing. It works sometimes.
I would like to tell you, Paul, Disneyland Adventures is an Xbox Play Anywhere title, so
That's
you should get
exciting.
access to that.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Travel to Disneyland where dreams come true and explore the magic of the kingdom with 18 iconic attractions.
Yeah. Wasteland 2 is fucking dope. And if you like the like CRPG type games and like think about like Wasteland 2 is the sequel to Wasteland, which was the basically original Fallout, the first like post-apocalyptic world is fucked RPG. So if you like CRPGs and you like that style,
Also, it was the spiritual successor to Super Mario Land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. People should check out Wasteland 2. That's easily out of all of these, like probably the best
What about
solid game.
Can you tell me a bit about MotoGP 17?
I can't at all.
Okay.
It looks nice. I'm looking at pictures of it. I was going to say photos. I'm looking at screenshots of it right now, and it looks totally fine.
70 legendary riders from 4-stroke.
That's too many riders.
I don't know, man. Yeah, where's Mario Kart? They don't have 70 riders.
Yeah, thanks for dropping the ball again, Mario Kart. Does MotoGP have blue shells? What about blue sparks?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably
I bet
not.
it has. Can a bike drift? Probably not, right?
Probably not.
That sounds
Bunch
dangerous.
of pussies. Yeah, that sounds real dangerous.
All right, moving on. Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remasters are in the works.
Of course. Yeah.
Which, yeah, this seemed pretty likely, considering those other ones are selling real well.
And they like money. Like, of course. Why wouldn't they do this?
Yep. I kind of hope they keep the Kiwami title on all of them, because that kind of makes it more of like a series. Like if it's a Kiwami game, you know it's going to be a remaster. I just kind of like that.
I definitely agree.
Unless the only way I'm fine if they change it is if they put the word remastered on there, but like put a weird pun in it, like when you get like a Definitive Edition or remastered
for Red Gorilla for
whenever they do something
Gorilla.
that like that, I think it's dumb and great. So if they can come up with something like that,
yo,
that would be good.
remastered is so dumb.
Yep. Yakuza 3 is coming. These are the Japanese releases, by the way.
Yeah.
In August 9th. Yakuza 4 is, I guess, the fall of this year, so they're turning these around fast. Yakuza 5 is spring of 2019.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to be about half a year behind them or so. I don't know. I haven't really been following the other ones.
And yeah, 1080p, 60 frames per second running.
So that'll be good for John if he's continuing to go through them.
He has said that he's, definitely going through them. So that'll be, definitely very good.
We spoke about the sexy visual novels. A bit of an update on those is Good Old Games has basically stepped forward and said, hey, we will be your island for misfit toys.
We love porn. Come here.
We'll take all the anime titties you got. And it seems like a bunch of visual novel publishers are moving over to GOG.
Sure.
And they're setting up like a new genre page and section for that. So maybe that's where those are going to live from now on.
Sure.
So, don't cry. Those are still around.
Yeah.
The last one, this is a weird one. I know you've been waiting for Resident Evil 7 on the Switch, and that's coming.
Yeah, kind of. It's a cloud version, kind of like how they're doing Phantasy Star 2. And it's Japan only.
Means, it's only like a couple dozen megabytes.
It's like 40 or something like that.
So you have to be on Wi-Fi for this handheld console.
You have to be connected. Yep. So they're already doing this in Japan.
Right.
And this is Japan only. I'm sure it's not going to work for us over here.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
The fact that playing Phantasy Star 2 the Japanese version on the Switch was fucking terrible. And Resident Evil 7 has parts where you can't play that game with lag. There's some parts that you will just not be able to get through with lag. So
so you played the Phantasy Star Online 2 cloud version here? Is that did they make an English version of that, or was it also
No, it's in Japanese. But I have a Phantasy Star 2 account in Japanese already.
Okay. Interesting. Are you going to play this? It's $20.
For $20, no, because I know it's not going to work.
I'm just wondering how like curious you would be, because you also love this game.
This is the thing, is that I'm actually curious, and I probably will if I have $20 extra laying around.
Also, here's something I get. So it says Cloud 180-day play ticket.
Yeah. So you're essentially renting it for 3 months or whatever, or what's 180 days, I guess? Like
6
half a
months,
year?
it's half a year.
Yeah. You're renting it.
What? So you don't even get the game?
I mean, you get it for 6 months for $20, rather than forever for a little more than that.
Yeah, that's absurd. Like,
yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, game rentals, renting digitally, it's not dead. PlayStation does it with PlayStation Now and stuff, but like, those are also for usually like a week. 6 months, that's a ton. Like, this is just such a weird decision. Like, why? I don't know.
Japan likes to steal money out of their consumers' pockets.
To be fair, though, like 6 months is easily enough time to beat this game, or any game. I don't know why you would need this for longer than 6 months.
Sure.
If you cared that much about Resident Evil 7
you
to
should
like have a copy of it, you probably have already played it on a better console.
Well, I guess that depends. I mean, yeah, you probably played it on like PlayStation 4.
Yeah, like exactly, or on the computer or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe if you have like a party and you're like, hey, let's rent Resident Evil 7, and then we'll try and cram as many parties as we can get into this 6 month period.
Yeah.
To really get our money's worth. I don't know. That's the thing that's happening.
That's not going to work well for us. It just won't. Servers are located.
Think it'll come? Think they'll do an English version?
This way? No.
Nah, I don't think so either.
No. Our country isn't set up for Wi-Fi and internet like they are. We're too spread across a bunch of like.
Well, again, we have PlayStation Now. They're already doing digital rentals where it's streaming based.
Yeah, but you're getting a bunch of games for $15. This is one game for $20 for half of the year.
Right. But you get it for but it's 6 months as opposed to like 72 hours or whatever whatever PlayStation Now.
But it's one game is the problem.
But you have 6 months. Think how many times you could beat it.
Like, okay, you could beat it
Haven't
probably
you ever
like 5 times in a
game
day.
And you just wished that you could have rented it for 6 months instead of a week?
No.
Yeah, me either. So again, I don't understand this. I don't get it.
Different sensibilities for sure.
What is the scenario where you're like 6 months? That's exactly what I needed. Thank you.
For me, there isn't.
Exactly.
That doesn't exist.
No, I'm asking the royal you. I'm asking our listeners. Please write in whether or not you have a real answer to why you would need to rent a game for 6 months.
One game,
or if you
for 6 months.
If you have, one game for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's not even like an open world game. If it was like Skyrim or something, okay, I get it. Like, I get it.
I still don't. But yeah, I get it more than this.
Or like Animal Crossing. Because it's like, Christmas is 6 months from now, and I got to see that event, but I also have to play it right now. Okay, so I get those ones. This is a story, linear game, and for some reason, you need 6 months of it.
Yeah.
So Kimberly in the chat has a good point. If the lag is that bad, it might take you 6 months to beat it. So that's true.
Right. Okay.
So maybe that's the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. That's it for news. Let's go into some questions.
Woo.
topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP Podcast, the Facebook group, the Discord channel, John's P.O. Box are all great ways to send questions in, such as this first one from Eduardo, who wrote, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of newer games compared to older games?
I mean, the biggest advantage... I'm sorry?
This is such an open-ended question. Oh my god.
The biggest advantage of newer games, obviously, is the fact that it's on hardware that you probably have now. You're not going back into bargain bins looking for a good deal, or going onto eBay and paying huge prices for like 30-year-old software. A lot of things
Disadvantage to like a new like a disc as opposed to like a cartridge
yeah,
is if you have like a real wobbly table, you can't really level it out using like an N64 card.
or if it's like scratched, it can just like not play certain parts or like freeze up or any of that stuff. A huge one for me is I fucking hated memory cards. I like that a lot of stuff is just like either saved online in the cloud or like on a hard
as
drive.
an advantage to new games.
Yeah,
Sure. Yep.
memory cards were a band-aid to a problem that they finally fixed with hard drives. So
Yeah, I'll agree with that one for sure. Just cloud saves in general are super
cloud
nice.
saves are too
Being able
good.
to like pick up all of my stuff on like my friend's Xbox if I go to his place
Yeah,
and like have everything downloadable right there is super great.
Lineback's correct. Big advantage, game-breaking bugs will be actually fixed. Disadvantage, companies can release broken shit now with the promise
Every
that they
game
might
comes
do
out
it.
broken or
Yeah.
like a day one patch or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's that case for sure.
Oh, the fact that if you don't have internet, like if you don't have internet and you buy a game, you probably just can't use certain features that were promised because that was part of the day one patch. Like, yeah.
Yep.
There's some bummers to that stuff for sure.
This could go on forever. I'm going on to a second question. What is a good starter MMO?
It depends what you're looking for in MMO. Every MMO, the main thing you need is need to be able to connect with other people, and people need to be playing so that you can interact. Otherwise, why are you playing a massive multiplayer online game? So for that reason, you want World of Warcraft.
Okay, but what if you don't want either of those things?
If you don't want either of those things, you're not playing an MMO.
But I still want to know what a good starter MMO is for the decisive player who doesn't want those.
Warframe.
Play Warframe. I hear that there's a ton of people playing Warframe.
There's a ton of people, but you go into squads with random people or alone if you want.
Okay,
and it's free.
All right.
RuneScape, yeah, that's not a bad one. Final Fantasy 14 is real good. Actually, you know what? Destiny 2 as a starter MMO is totally fine. Because there's limited...
I think that's a good answer, yeah, because it's almost not an MMO. Like, it's basically not an MMO with just a lot of MMO concepts.
The thing is that if you want an MMO, you're going to have to move out of the kiddie pool of Destiny 2 and go to another one, and you're going to start right at the beginning of that new one. So it's better to just find one that was something that you're kind of interested in with people playing it and just go, like, hog wild into it.
Also, if you're just more used to, like, console shooters and stuff.
Yeah, no, like, for just the everyman, Destiny 2 is probably the answer.
Cool.
Yeah. VGC Kenny wrote in and said, do you put your Pop-Tarts in the toaster or do you eat them at room temperature? And the answer is both. It depends on how much time I have in the morning or where I'm at.
Sure. I cannot even remember the last time I ate a Pop-Tart.
There's also...
I'm trying to think what I used to do.
Yeah. In the morning, I always toast them because I like when they get all gooey and soft and, oh, they're so good. The problem is that as a busy adult with an adult life, you don't have time to toast shit all the time.
Sure.
Also, if you're not buying Pop-Tarts.
I think this is how I used to do it, and I'm thinking also if I was to do it now, it would depend on the flavor.
Sure.
And if it was like a s'mores or like a chocolate or something, I might toast it. But if it was like cake
or strawberry,
I know they have like
standard strawberry.
Yeah, and I know they have like funfetti ones and stuff like that. I might just eat those ones. Because in the end of the day, it's just mainly like, is this a white sugar or is this white sugar that was colored pink on top of this basically cracker?
They sell Pop-Tarts in one of the like vending machines where I work. So like that's an option, but we don't have like a standard toaster. We have like one of those like
just a heating vent against the wall that we just put our food on top of.
We have a toaster like oven. And not
just
like,
a barrel fire in the hallway.
Yeah, a burning barrel. .co. Yeah.
I tried what was the flavor? It was an Oreo flavor. Oh crap. I shouldn't even brought this up if I couldn't remember. Pina colada flavored Oreos this week.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I thought it just kind of tasted like a golden Oreo.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured it would probably taste like.
Everyone else said it actually did taste pineapple-y, but I couldn't really taste that.
Yeah, it seems like a subtle taste for a sweet to have. So, sure.
Kimberly says, do you guys listen to covers of video game music? If so, what are some of your favorite artists or individual songs?
Yes, I listen to a lot of covers of video game music.
Yeah.
The big one for me is OC Remix. I love OC Remix for when I'm streaming or any of that stuff because it doesn't get copyright ID'd and then like mutes everything. And it's usually just neat hearing songs that you've heard like a million times from games you like done in different ways and styles. So, and there's like thousands of that shit. So OC Remix is definitely the way to go for that. Mini bosses are probably my favorite. Proto Min are really good. If you go onto YouTube, what's his name now? I think it's like Richard E.B. He's the guitar guy. He did.
You can also go to YouTube and just type in Mario Dubstep Remix, and you'll find plenty of stuff.
Yeah. He did the whole Undertale soundtrack in like a metal style, and he does a lot of metal stuff in general. So I really like him. Yeah, he's Richard E.B. on Richard, I guess. So instead of like an R, it's Richaadeb.
Oh, who's the acapella guy? That,
yeah,
like,
him
does
too.
his
I was gonna get to him. That's
his himself
McGroove.
like 12 times.
Yeah, that's Smooth McGroove.
Right.
So he's really good too.
He is very good. I typically don't listen to a lot of video game covers. I have listened to OC Remix in the past. They're great. I just typically don't listen to that.
Sure. Yeah, I guess like mini bosses and Neskimos. That's the other one I was trying to remember. Are the ones
Eskimos.
Yeah, they're the ones I would go to for like groups or bands or whatever. Otherwise, Proto Min and the 1UPs as well.
All right, that does it for emails and questions. If you want to send in some for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, Discord channel, and John's P.O. Box.
Right.
Paul, what is your game of the week?
Okay,
I'm got a lot of good stuff here.
I'm not going to say God of War because I don't feel like I've played enough of it this week. I'm going to say Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. That game is fucking phenomenal.
And it like just came out.
Yeah.
Mine's the game I can't talk about.
Damn.
Sorry everybody.
That's so rude.
But that was my favorite game I played this week. All right, a little bit of housekeeping for our Patreon supporters, or if you want to be a Patreon supporter, Rage won the June poll.
I'm so sorry.
For TDP Plus. That's Paul's fault, by the way.
That is
he's the one who
fault.
submitted Rage. So the three of us we have to play through some of Rage next month, and we will talk about that at the end of the month. Also, next week we will be doing our Celeste podcast after the regular show.
Yep.
So keep an eye on that. If you want access to either of those and all the backlog, check out the Patreon. It's $1, as low as $1 to get access to everything. And a reminder, we were going to be recording a spoiler cast this Sunday. It should be out either Monday or Tuesday time, along with this one, the audio version for God of War.
Yeah.
And John should be back next week, so we'll get a lot of fun tales from him.
Yeah.
But that'll do it. So thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.